Hello children, welcome to Mathematics Virtual Classroom at vista.com. As I explained with my subject introductory presentation, I know most of you feel this as a very difficult subject. But believe me children, I would like to tell you, if you follow the instructions well, if you learn the concepts from the basics step by step, one day this would be the most interesting subject in your curriculum. So for that I'll be here with you every week. There will be math lessons. So what you want to do children, watch the lesson carefully and follow the instructions and try to understand the concepts, then practice the sums. So regularly when you do like that, it would be the most interesting subject and the easiest subjects you have in your curriculum. Right. As you know, there are some students in our classroom, when the teacher explains things at once they can understand the concepts, and there are some students, they want to listen to the teacher many times, they want to ask questions, and it takes time to understand the concepts. So it doesn't matter. Whoever the child you are, after joining with me, so you will understand my teaching style, because when I'm explaining a theory concepts, sometimes I explain it 2 times, 3 times, sometimes more than that, depending on the complication of the concepts, right? So what you want to do, if you can understand the concept at once, so don't worry. So don't think this as a boring lesson, because teacher is talking something you already know. But take that teaching style or the explanation style as an opportunity to revise the theory which you already know. And the students who wants to listen to the teacher many times, it's your time, it's a very great opportunity for you. Then when I'm explaining the same theory again and again in simple terms, you can grab the theory and can understand the theory. So without talking much, so we'll start the lesson. As you all know, can you remember, if you have followed STP Mathematics 2A book or else STP Mathematics 3A book by any chance in your school, can you remember where the very first chapter they have talked about the numbers, mathematical operations and the basic mathematical concepts. Likewise, in your GCSE textbooks also, it is about numbers, mathematical operations and mathematical concepts. So the chapter unit 1, it is understanding numbers, and the subtopic here we are going to talk about sets of numbers. Forget about all these topics and subtopics. First of all, tell me, children, how many marker pens now I have? Yes, I have 1 marker pen. Now 2 marker pens. Now 3 marker pens and 4 marker pens. So what did you do? You counted. A teacher is having 1 marker pen and 2 marker pens, 3 marker pens and 4 marker pens. Likewise, when you want to count an individual item, right, you need numbers. We call these numbers, what are they? Counting numbers or else natural numbers. So when you use numbers to count an individual item, right, so you want to count something, how many pens you have and how many toys you have, sometimes let's say how many books you have, anything, you use numbers, right, whole numbers, positive numbers to count them, right? We call them counting numbers or the natural numbers. So how can you show that? How can you represent it? So you represent the natural numbers with capital N, right? Then if I ask you to represent the sets of counting numbers or the natural numbers, how do you represent it children? So you want to have the curly brackets, right? You want to have the curly brackets like this. Then you are going to show it 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 dots, and you close it with again a curly bracket. So what does this mean? So comma and 3 dots, what does this mean? So the list is going on, right? So counting numbers you may have thousands, 10,000s, millions. So it's going on, list is going on. So the counting numbers or the natural numbers are the numbers which you use to count individual items, right? Okay, now let's think. When you came to the school early morning, you had 3 apples, right? Then during the interval, you had it with your friends, right? And after the interval, soon after the interval, now you have the math period, and now I am asking, so this is your math period soon after the interval. Now I am asking, how many apples do you have? Now, can you count it? So you don't have anything. Early morning, if I ask, you can count and show me. Teacher, yes, I have 1, 2, 3. Say, look at I have 3 apples. You can show me. But now, after the interval, you had it with your friends. Now you don't have anything. Now I am asking how many apples you have. So you don't have anything, nothing, right? So, but when I was talking about counting numbers or the natural numbers, only 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. You don't have 0, right? You, with the counting numbers, you don't have 0. So there are some instances where we want to talk about nothing or else 0, right? So we want to have the 0 symbol to represent. So you don't have anything to represent that. Nothing, right? Sometimes, can you remember in your lower grades we were dealing with number lines and we were dealing with subtraction. Then we had negative numbers, right? With those negative numbers, negative whole numbers, right? Negative whole numbers, number line, can you remember? I'll explain these things again later. Till then, can you imagine the number lines you had in your lower grades? So there, I'll just draw it. So it's like this. So this is 0 and these are negative numbers and these are positive numbers. Can you remember? Yes. Together all. Negative whole numbers, 0 and the counting numbers or else the natural numbers. All together we name it as integers, right? So how do you represent it, children? With capital Z. With capital Z. Now if I ask you to represent it as a set of numbers, again you need to have the curly brackets, right? Okay, so in the number line, you know there can be more numbers, but I'll show it with 3 dots, comma, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, comma, again 3 dots. So this is how you show the integers as a set, right? With curly brackets. Here, what does this mean? These 3 dots. So to this side you have more numbers. And here 3 dots represent what, children? You have more numbers in the list, right? So these are what? Integers. What do you mean by integers? So tell me as a summary. Integers, if I write like this, integers consist with what, children? There are 3 items. What are they? Negative whole numbers, right? Negative whole numbers. Then what else? What else? What are the other components you have inside the integers? 0. And what is the other elements you have with integers, children? It is counting numbers or else the natural numbers, right? Counting numbers or the natural numbers. I have given these definitions and everything in your short note. You can refer that also, and you can refer your textbooks. So counting numbers or the natural numbers, numbers you use to count individual items. Yes. So how can you represent? It is capital N, and with curly brackets you represent the list. and here 1 2 3 4 and list is going on, comma and 3 dots, and you close the bracket with again with a curly bracket. And integers, what do you mean by integers? So inside that you have negative whole numbers and 0 and the counting numbers or the natural numbers, right? Counting numbers or the natural numbers. Now can you remember in your lower grades we had, so are they the only numbers we had? No, we had decimals, ratios, fractions. Can you remember, children? Don't worry, we are going to talk about these things in detail later. For the time being, now tell me, can you remember the fractions, the decimals, or else ratios? Now, apart from them, if you are going to include those ratios and fractions, negative whole numbers, 0, natural numbers, and also ratios and fractions together, we call them as rational numbers. What are they? Rational numbers. Children, now tell me, what are the elements you can find with rational numbers? How do you represent it? Rational numbers you represent like this, capital Q. And again, if you are going to show it as a list, you can show the list with curly brackets. But I would say rational numbers, right? Rational numbers, I'll show it like this. You have negative whole numbers, right? You have negative whole numbers. Look at this, how I am going to represent the rational numbers. Negative whole numbers. Then I have 0, right? Then I have the counting numbers or the natural numbers, right? Natural numbers. And also now I have ratios or fractions. All together, children, fractions. All together. So with this bracket I am going to show you all together. I can name them as what? Rational numbers. Now you may think she is talking the things which we have learned in our lower grades. It's very boring. Don't think like that, Pute, because this is a revision session before starting your Cambridge O-level syllabus, right? We were talking about counting numbers or the natural numbers, then integers, then rational numbers. So what are the elements you can have in the rational numbers? Negative whole numbers, 0, natural numbers, so the counting numbers, and ratios and fractions, right? So are they the only numbers we were talking in our lower grades? No. Can you remember when you were talking about circles, area of a circle and circumference of a circle, you had a nice symbol. Can you remember it? Yes. What is that? It's pi, right? So it's a number. So normally in the examination, what was the value we used for the sin pi? Either it's 22/7 or else 3.142, right? So in the examination we have that number. So but it's not the real value, children. So it is something. I'll show you. Wait, will you? It's going on, right? So these are we called irrational numbers. Now you may think, so here it's going on, right? So if I show like this, children, 2/3 as a decimal, how can I show? So first of all, I forgot to tell you, normally children, when you are doing your math lesson, it's better to have a working column like this, right? Always try to have a working column like this. Now what does this mean? 2 over 3, it's a fraction, it's a proper fraction, but how can you get the answer in decimal? So you want to divide 2 by 3. So what will be the answer? 0, then 20, you take an imaginary 0, then you put the decimal, then for 20 it is 6, then what happened? Again 20, so what will be the answer? 0.6666. Now tell me, so this is a recurring decimal, so will this recurring decimal an irrational number? No. Why is that? So what is the difference between this pi value and this recurring decimal value? So I am telling, so this is not an irrational number and this is an irrational number, irrational value. Why is that? Because can you see any similar patterns? 6 is repeating, 6 is repeating, and I'll give you another example. Now look at this, this one, 2 over 7. How do you show? 0.285714, 285714. So it's a recurring decimal. So the same pattern, 285714, 285714, it's recurring, right? The same pattern repeating, right? Now can you understand? So these are irrational numbers. So these are not irrational numbers. Why? Recurring decimal in the sense you can have the same number, it's repeating, there is a pattern, repeating pattern. So recurring decimals are not irrational numbers. Now tell me, what are the other examples you can find under irrational numbers? Now you know the symbol pi. Yes, the value of pi, we can consider it as an irrational number. Yes, even though we use the pi value as 22 over 7 or 3.142 in our examination. So the value is going on, decimals are going on, so it is an irrational numbers. What are the other examples? Can you remember when we were talking about squares and square roots, we learned square root of 4, it is 2. Square root of 9, it is 3. Square root of 16, it is 4. Square root of 25, it is 5. Now tell me, can you remember this thing? Square root of 5, without calculator you wrote this like 2 point something. Can you remember in your lower grades? Yes. Without the calculator, you just wrote the approximation. So the approximate value as 2 point something. So when you take the exact value, so this is going on, right? Or else if you take the square root of 3, it's like this. Now, can you understand? So these, all of them are irrational numbers. Now, what are the sets we were talking? First we talk about natural numbers or the counting numbers. The numbers you use to count individual items. Apart from those positive whole numbers or the counting numbers, sometimes we wanted to have zero and negative numbers. So then we talk about integers. Inside the integers, or what are the elements you can find with integers? Counting numbers, zero and negative whole numbers. Then we had ratios and fractions, right? Then negative whole numbers, zero, counting numbers and ratios and fractions, all together we name them as rational numbers. Then we had this special signs called phi, then square root of 5, square root of 3, square root of 51, right? So then what are they? They are called irrational numbers. Now, negative whole numbers, zero, counting numbers, ratios or fractions, and irrational numbers, all together we name them as real numbers, right? Okay, so we'll arrange a summary now. What we learned, children? First of all, what we had? What are they? Natural numbers. What is the sign we use? It is capital N, right? Natural numbers. Then what we had? Then we had integers. What was the sign we used, children? Capital Z. Then what we had? With ratios and fraction, what we had? We had rational numbers. It is Q. Then what we had? Irrational numbers. With irrational numbers, it is now real numbers. Right? So the natural numbers or counting numbers, I just write 2, 3. So these are the examples. Then with integers, what you have? 0, -5, -1, right? Then with for rational numbers, what do you have? Ratios, let's say 0.25 and 3/4. Likewise you have. So all together we call now all these numbers now we call rational numbers. Then real numbers, for that what do you have? Pi value, square root of 3, then square root of 51. Okay, that is the summary of sets of numbers. Okay, natural numbers, numbers you use to count individual items. Yes. Then together with the natural numbers you have 0 and negative whole numbers. Now we call them integers. Together with integers you have sometimes ratios and fractions. Then we call altogether rational numbers. With rational numbers, if you have irrational numbers like pi, square root of 3, square root of 51, then we call real numbers. Right? Okay. Before winding up this part, I'll give you few numbers. Now take a piece of paper and quickly write down what are they. Right? I'll give you a few examples. It's like this. Now quickly categorize. Quickly write down to which category they should come under here. Right? Then square root of 3. Then 1/1000. So then -99. Right? I'll give you the numbers. Right? -99, 2.5. Then -quarter, the value pi, 0.3, 0. And 2005. Children, look at the list now you have. What you want to do, first of all, one by one we'll discuss. Now let's say I want to have counting numbers. What are the items I can have? I can categorize as counting numbers. 2005. That's it. Right? 2005. Now here, what does this mean? Tell me, what does this mean? So natural numbers, can we consider this as a natural numbers? No. Can you remember when I was explaining about natural numbers, I told you natural numbers are the positive whole numbers which you use to count the individual items, right? Okay. So then 2.5 is not a natural number or counting number. Now you may think any positive number will be the counting number. That's what I gave this one, right? So 2005 only the natural number. So I can name them as like this, natural numbers, right? Okay. Now tell me Now I want to find the elements of the integers. What are the elements I can find? Integers, right? Tell me, what are the items? What are the integers? Counting numbers, 0 and negative numbers. Yes, this will be there, this will be there. Yes. Then what else? Yes, negative numbers. Now this is a negative number, but can you consider this as an integer? No, because still we didn't come to fractions and ratios, right? So what are the items you can find for integers, children? Tell me. 2005, 0 and minus 95, right? So then I'll write like this, Z. So this is also an Z, and right? Okay. Then rational numbers. Now for rational numbers, you can have counting numbers, 0, negative whole numbers, and ratios and fraction. Now you can have 2, right? Then 1 over 1000, fraction, then minus 99, and 2.5, minus quarter, 0.3, 0, 2005. And the real numbers, all together we can consider them as the real numbers, right? Children, so that's the end of sets of numbers. I have given you a short note and I have given you few questions as a homework sheet. So what you want to do, watch this video again if you feel you want to grab the knowledge again. It doesn't matter, watch any times, you have that facility with vistart.com. So go through the concepts and go through the short note and practice the homework sums. Next week I'll give you the answers, or sometimes I'll discuss those answers with you as a video lesson. So let's move to the next part of this, the same unit. Till then I'm going to wind up this. Okay children.